Hey everyone, Simon here. I am recording this message for my Crypto Questions Answered group, private group, but I'm going to make this part of it public because I think there is some valuable information that people can use and hopefully use moving forward. And hopefully, if you're interested in more, come into the group. We have very lively, very brilliant people in this group who are all contributing to help us get a better understanding of where the crypto space is going. So I have some specific price predictions for you today, but to set them up, I'm going to play you our lesson from 4 days ago, okay, which was on the 14th, I believe. So I'm going to play this for about 5-6 minutes. My thought is, and this was a difficult chart to look at. The question is, but when is Bitcoin going to dip? I'm coming to the idea that we have to look at Mercury. Now, I'm going to teach you a basic technique in astrology, in particularly Western, but also Vedic astrology, that the asset, the thing that you're looking for is the fourth house, the thing that is what you hold dearly. Now, this applies mostly for real estate, but also for anything that you hold that's an asset, that you value. The first house is you. The seventh house is the seller or the buyer of, like, the exchange in this case. The fourth house is the asset, and the 10th house is the price of the asset. So using the Western chart, we can determine if the asset itself is in good shape and if the price of the asset is in good shape and where it's going. So I'm using this technique because it seems to pan out. So here we have Mercury, the ruler of the 10th house of the price of the asset, which is what you guys are interested in. And so it's in the 8th house. Okay, so the moment the question was asked, which was last week, August 7th, Mercury is in Leo, this is in the Western chart, in the 8th house, but it's about to move into the 9th in about a couple of days. So if we count 1 degree per day, we see that it's about to have a change. And so when we looked at the price 2 days after the class, it did go up. Okay, so that suggests that this Mercury is an accurate kind of representation of the price. However, it's moving towards combustion. So while Mercury is combust, the price is going to stay under, there's going to be heavy resistance. It won't be able to go up. So even though Mercury moved into a good 9th house and it had a little boost, then it came back down as it approached and continues to approach combustion. Okay, and now it's recovered a little bit, so it's doing this kind of thing. 10 days from this date, so August 17th, Mercury will be Cazimi. Now, Cazimi is a very special condition when things are raised up. So there should be a spike. So today is August 17th, and Bitcoin has broken through that huge resistance that I was talking about here, 12,000. In fact, it went all the way up to 12,499. So it broke through and kept on going. But listen up for the rest of this, and then I'll give you my price targets, which are a little bit different from what I talk about in this video. So just listen up here. Spike up, actually, around the 17th, which is just 3 days from now. But it'll be brief, because then Mercury will leave Cazimi. So it should be a nice spike in the price. If I've picked the right indicator, if this Mercury is what we need to be looking at, in 3 days we should see a spike, but then it's going to continue to move and leave its combustion with the sun. And so the spike will be up, it'll come back down, but then we're going to see a rise. And guess what happens next? Mercury will enter Virgo. Virgo is the exaltation sign of Mercury. Okay, so not only that, as it enters Virgo, it will touch the royal star Regulus. That is 25 days from the day this question was answered, so around the 2nd of September. Okay, so the first week of September should see a rise in the price of Bitcoin. And then what will happen another 14 days after that, it'll touch the midheaven. So this should be the peak. So I think the price is going up. All right, so there you have it from our video a few days ago, but I've got some things that I want to add to this because I'm actually going to amend this prediction. And since we don't meet until Friday, which is 3-4 days from now, it may be too late. So I just want to bring these thoughts into this. And let's go to that chart. Now, I want you to notice, first of all, actually, let's go to the Bitcoin graph here. Let's go here. And I want you to notice what time Bitcoin, because it went from 11,800 and it jumped all the way up to over 12,000, breaking that resistance right around 6:20 in the morning, okay? Then it had its next big jump right around 8:30 in the morning of the 17th, all right? I just want you to pay it, so 6:20 to 6:30, and then 8:30, all right? So if we go to, now, you don't have to know any astrology for this to make sense, or even if you know a little bit, this can be useful. Because look at what happened. So here's this, forget all of this gobbledygook. There's a lot of fancy schmancy stuff here. Just all we're paying attention to is these two planets right here and their degrees. So this is Mercury, this is the sun. Forget about everything else. So look at Mercury, its degrees are approaching the sun. Now the definition of cazimi is when a planet is within 17.5 minutes of the sun, minutes. Now, when did that happen? Well, Mercury here at around 5 a.m., even 3 a.m., or like 4 a.m., entered within 17 minutes. Minutes are, so these are degrees, these are minutes. And you can see Mercury is about 8 minutes away from the sun. But the movement of the price didn't actually happen until Mercury entered that same degree as the sun, the 25th degree. And that was, look at the time, guys. Look at the time right here. 6:20 a.m. Boom. Exactly like clockwork. So the reason I'm pointing this out is because it shows us that Mercury in this horary chart can not only be used to give us a prediction, but can be used to look ahead and give us timing as to when that price prediction. So the prediction was Bitcoin price is going to go up, all right, in the short term, especially. Well, also in the long term. If you don't know my prognostications, I've got a ton of videos on YouTube, but come into our group, Crypto Questions Answered. I've been very bullish on Bitcoin since July 24th, I believe. I made a video about 4 days before that, 5 days before that, called Bitcoin Move in 5 days. That's, according to me, that's when the bull run started. And that is when Bitcoin, I think, began its rise. But that rise is going to continue. It's not going to really reach its full speed. It's like a train, right, getting going. It's not going to reach full speed until January of next year, all right? And then I think we're off to the races. So, but back to this. So I'm bullish on Bitcoin, short, medium, and long term, all the way through 2024. Okay, after that, I've got some issues with it, but at least for another 3 years. So that's a little nugget there for you. The astrology, to me, looks very bullish for another 2-3 years, probably until the next halving. Anyway, so Mercury now is at this exact same degree as the sun in real time. So it's full-on cazimi, but let's just take it forward and see when it reaches the exact degree in minute as the sun. So here, 2508, 2508, at about 7:50 a.m., 2509, through 8:11 a.m., they're in the same degree, 8:21. Not until 8:31 does Mercury leave the exact degree in minute. So this time, 8:20 a.m., should have been when Bitcoin price saw its big move. And you can see, right, you could see it actually began right at 8:20. If I zoom in here to the 1 minute chart, let's see. I'm going to have to go back quite a bit. Here we go. So look, the greens, look at this. The green arrows, the green bars, when did they start? At 8:21 a.m. You see that? On August 17th. And that's when this whole rise began. Now, it accelerated. There's a little bump here. This is probably when Mercury left the exact degree, and then it has continued up. So I'm showing you this to reiterate this idea that, first of all, astrology can represent the movement of very difficult to represent, very ephemeral things like a price, the price of a house or the price of a car, but only if you choose the right karaka, the right significator. So in this case, it has shown us that it's the right significator on a number of occasions. So, all right, so now we get to why I'm making this video. So that was all the setup. The reason I'm making the video, guys, is because if you remember, I said that September 2nd, Mercury would enter into Gemini because I was counting a degree a day. But now Mercury is actually, as it's very near the sun, it's like slingshotting. So it's accelerating its speed. So when in fact it's going to reach its sign of exaltation, it's going to be sooner. All right. So this is the whole purpose of this video. So if I go forward, see, I'm going to have to do this even by hour. Boom. See, Mercury hits 0 degrees Virgo when? August 19th. That's in 2 days. Yeah, so we're not going to have class before then. So I'm making this for you guys so you can see that Mercury is now, it's still combust. Okay, so that gives me a little bit of pause, but it's also going to be conjunct Regulus. So let's see how it performs as it hits Regulus, as it hits a conjunction with Trans-Pluto, which sometimes I like for sports, and we'll see how it works with stocks. I haven't tested it with stocks. All right, and as it moves ahead, and then by the time it hits 14 degrees, it should be well on its way. So Mercury is still combust, so there's still some downward pressure on it. So August 19th, 8 p.m., 9 p.m. All right, so I'm just going to go forward by day here now. So guys, do your own research. This is not financial advice or anything. Look, August 20th, this is entertainment. We're doing astrology. August 21st, Mercury conjuncts Trans-Pluto. That should be interesting. And then it hits 14 degrees right around the 27th, 28th, okay? So in our class, I said, hey, first week of September is bullish, but you should be into Bitcoin before the 25th. Well, it's already had its move. And if this is any indication, by the way, it's going to leave its combustion around the 24th, 25th. So I think that's why I chose that. I forget stuff. Half the things I say and predict, I had to go back to the video because somebody brought this up and said, hey, you predicted the 17th. I'm like, when? And they said, in our last class. And so I had to go back and watch this because honestly, I don't remember. I didn't remember this. Because the whole point is to answer your question. So these are the targets, guys. These are the dates I just gave you. Go back in the video and you'll see what they are. August 19th, I believe, August 22nd. And then, so anyway, we're ramping up. And I still think the first week of September is going to also be bullish. Now, when will there be a dip? We do see some dips coming. Nothing is ever straight up. And in fact, the best bull runs are nice and slow, right? They've got they look something like this, right? They've got waves. They're not like this, because anything that goes up like this is going to come down. So what Bitcoin has been doing, and it's been jumping in steps like this, and then reconsolidating and jumping and reconsolidating. So this is very healthy. This is an indication of a long bull run cycle that really, I think, picks up its steam in January. And my prediction that we'll be above all-time highs within 6 months. When did I said 10 months back in July. So whenever 10 months is from July, August, March, April, May. So before next spring, I think we'll be at and beyond our all-time highs. So, all right, guys, I hope this was useful. I hope you have some targets. Now, what price targets can you look for? In our group, we've discussed that my heart wants Bitcoin to be hit all-time highs before the end of the year. The chart, as far as I can tell, is a little bit bearish on that. It's saying wait until next January to get above those all-time highs. So are we going to reach 20,000 or even 17? I doubt it. But still, we're 12 right now, 12,300. I think these positions represent spikes, so we could easily get to 14, even 15K, 15.5. These are possible. Okay, so anyway, but the more important thing is the timing, because if you, and that's another thing to discuss, which is, do you know your best times to enter into a trade? I call it lucky times, and people in our group have access to my lucky times website. So it's still in beta phase, but it will allow you to make to enter into decisions, financial decisions and otherwise, at hopefully times that are more opportune for you. In fact, the site is called Opportune, and it's developed by one of our community members. You can check it out by coming into our group, Crypto Questions Answered. The website is below, and it's all on a donation basis, guys. This is not a course. It's not it's just you guys are making a donation, and I am donating my time and experience. I'm not saying everything I say is right. No one's 100%. Only God is 100%. So all we're trying to do is see a little more clearly. And with the help of all of our eyes, we've got excellent Vedic astrologers, professionals in the group. We've got, you know, I believe in the adage that you only get 1/4 from the teacher. The other 1/4 comes from your own research. And then the other 1/4 comes from your fellow students. And the final 1/4 comes from time and experience. So I'm here to provide that 1/4 for you. And hopefully you'll get that other 1/4 from your students and from your own hard work. All right, guys. Thank you for your time. And we will see you in the next one. Namaste.